I remember you. Yeah. Yeah, I remember you. I saw you in my store. You know me, Mike, not Jerry? That's right. You were in my store, and I remember you were going through the paints. And you were looking at, I think it was an acrylic paint or something, and I saw you taking the tubes off the shelf and then like reaching for the one behind it because the one in front was, I guess, a little dented, and you wanted the one that looked great behind it, right? Is that you? That has to be you. Okay, obviously there's more than one you. This is a camera, right? I'm talking to a camera, but really I am talking to you because I think that there is a very good chance that that was you in my store. I think that that was you in my store. I think that that was you going through the shelf, looking through it like there was a bad expiration date on the first one, trying to find one that had an older expiration date that didn't look any dented or just had to look so perfect. Why? Our art supplies don't expire like that. I mean, it's not like, 2 weeks. Art supplies can last a long time. So why would you be searching through the back for the perfect looking tube? You're just going to squeeze it out, right? Well, therein lies the artist's problem. Now, I will say that a lot of you professional artists might not entirely relate to this, as, I've been to hundreds of artist studios and seen all kinds of setups, and there are plenty that just sort of take their tubes and pencils and markers and pastels and just dump them in bins or whatever. But for new artists or hobbyists, I have found that what should be one hobby has been split into two. Okay? Hear me out. There is this hobby of doing art, and then there's this hobby of collecting art supplies. Are you an art supply collector? Maybe you're a hybrid. Maybe you collect some art supplies, but you use others to do your art. But I never understood that. Why are you an art supply collector? Well, I shouldn't say that. I gotta tell you something between you and me. I've been guilty of this in the past. Look, I have even gone into my own stores and sometimes fish for that perfect looking tube because I don't know, we just want it to be pretty, right? But it doesn't make any sense. The paint doesn't go bad if there's a little dent in it, right? But let's just look at some art supplies, right? They're gorgeous. I mean, you go into an art supply store and it's literally eye candy. I mean, art supplies in themselves are pretty. I mean, look at this Cezanne colored pencil set here. Everything's so pristine, beautifully lined up. The colors, each pencil's the equal length. They're bright, they're vibrant. That's a work of art, man. It is. You get yourself a pastel set. You open that bad boy up and oh boy, they're all just so beautiful. And how dare you even consider using them? I mean, maybe this is the nicest you're going to get. This is the nicest art you'll ever create. And you just sort of like maybe just put that on your shelf. Yeah, I mean, that looks cool. A little. Okay. Now, maybe you've bought yourself something fancy schmancy like, I don't know, one of these leather opus leather journals. Ooh, these are nice. Are you a sketchbook collector? Oh, if you're going to collect sketchbooks, leather bound. Oh, it smells like shoes. Sketchbooks, beautiful. Look at that. With this beautiful, pristine pages. Oh, who would want to ruin this? You got to collect these. I mean, you can't use this. It's too precious. It's too perfect. If you use it, I mean, then it will go bad? Well, I don't know. Maybe that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But I feel that way, and I'm sure you've felt that way, right? Now, you might be asking yourself, Mike, not Jerry, why do you care? Why do you care if I use them? You're buying art supplies, right? Well, I care because we live and breathe this. We really believe in what we do, and we want to see the arts grow. And the fact of the matter is, no matter how many art supplies you buy, if you don't create art with it, that's not going to grow the art community. And that's what I'm all about, is getting more people to try and do art, because we deeply, it's in my DNA, believe that art is good for you. It's healthy. It's as important as exercising. It can relieve stress. It can release endorphins. It fuels your creativity. These are all very important things to be a well-rounded human being and a free thinker. right? Because when you're just going to study math and science and literature all day long, and then you're going to write a paper, and that's supposed to be the arts, but then they grammatically correct you because you put a comma after something that you shouldn't have, and you ended a sentence with a preposition. I don't even know what a preposition is. I couldn't even say it. That takes the fun out of it, right? Well, art is about creating your own worlds. I mean, that's what Bob Ross is all about. Create your own pre-world. That's right. You bought these art supplies out of excitement and maybe some kind of fantasy about you making art. And then they just look so pretty. Maybe that's good enough. But let's flip the narrative a little bit, okay? The narrative right now in your head is the art supplies are pretty. That's good. I like pretty. It's clean. It's neat. I mean, this is coming from somebody with deep obsessive compulsive disorder. I get it, okay? But there is beauty in chaos. Now, what is the beauty in the chaos? What's an example of that? Well, let me tell you about a friend of mine. Now, many moons ago, more moons than I care to admit, I had a buddy that had a gallery here in downtown Raleigh, okay? And he liked to paint in his gallery. It was also like a / gallery studio space. And instead of using an easel, because probably he had limited space, he would paint directly on the wall. He would hang his canvas directly on the wall and just paint it that way. It worked for him. No, good. Glad something worked for him. But the thing that he did in addition to that was interesting was he basically used the wall next to where he was painting as his palette. It almost looked like colorful boogers. I don't know how else to put it. It was like blobs of paint, and it was dripping, and he would mix his colors up, and this, and that. And in this, very nice looking gallery, sort of on 3 walls out of the 4, one was just looking like a real art studio. And he told me, and I'm not going to tell his name or anything because I feel like to some extent it might be an insult to his art. His art was great. He would get more offers on that piece of wall than he would on his artwork. People wanted to buy that section of wall. It represented something. It represented the chaos, the art. It represented everything that went into the paintings he created. And that had some kind of value. So there is some beauty in the chaos. There is something there, okay? That's crazy to me. And you know what? I could see that. It's kind of cool. If somebody came to your house, look, let's just call a spade a spade. Nobody has ever become famous for their art supply collection, okay? If they did, I would be the next Andy Warhol, all right? They become famous for the art that they do, for taking risks and chances and trying to create something. He unintentionally created something by creating a palette on his wall that would create demand, that people would want it. And you know what? I kind of dug it. I thought it would be cool if somebody came into my house and there was literally this piece of drywall hanging with all this stuff. And be like, well, what's that? And I was like, this represents all the work that this artist has done for the past 10 years. This is his palette. And I thought that was pretty cool. So beauty and chaos, right? Okay, we got so many things up here. We got our sketchbooks, we got our pastels, we got our pretty Cezanne pencils. What do we have here? Oh, dearie dear. What's this? Let's, I'm going to clear some stuff off real quick, okay? We'll come right back. So, what do we have here, everybody? Dearie dear, I have some type of delicious-looking wood box set. Something pretty high-end. I mean, I think that this Charvin set is close to $200. And it's a wood box set, and let's look it up. Oh, we got a brush. Palette knife. Oh, look at this. This is fancy pants right here. Nice little palette. Look at me. I'm an artist. Oh, and these tubes. Are you kidding me? Look how beautiful these tubes are. All right, are you ready to play along with me? Are you ready? I'm going to put on my big girl panties, okay? And I want you to put on your big girl panties. That didn't come out right. All right. I'm going to put on my big girl panties, and I say that because my daughter... Have I ever mentioned the panties to you guys? My daughter only knows the word panties for underpants. So one day, and we didn't really realize this, we just know that we always said, like, okay, put your panties on. And one day, Natasha and I are doing laundry, and I'm folding up my underpants, and she's like, are those daddy's panties? And I'm like, yes, they are. And then I just sort of like went with it. And Natasha's like, at some point we have to like explain to her that boys don't wear panties. Those are underpants. And I said, I don't think so. I want her to go to high school, or college even, better yet, and she'll be with somebody, guy, and like, oh, I like your panties, and like that will just ruin anything from happening. That's just my dad gene right there. All right, so I'm going to put on my big girl panties. You put on whatever you have to, and I'm going to invite you to take something out, something that you have had, that precious art supply. It doesn't have to be in a wood box. It can be a sketchbook. It can be pencils. It can be pastels. Whatever it is that you have been collecting. Okay, we are going to break this hobby of art supply collecting. That is an artist problem if I've ever heard of one, because you can't be an artist if you're not creating art. Okay, you're an art supply collector, which is weird. Okay, we're going to do this together. Okay, so we're all going to get something. I'm going to give you a minute, let you grab it. Okay, not really. We don't have time for that. Just pause the video. Okay, so do you have your thing? Did you pause me? Okay, we're going to do this together. We're going to ruin something so perfect. It hurts. I don't even know if I want to do it. Will, give me strength. He's far away. 6 feet plus. That's right. Okay. I think we just have to jump in. So I'm going to grab this red. Oh, look at the tube. No dents. It's beautiful. And I'm just going to squeeze it! Oh, no. Oh, what have I done? Well, it turns out not a whole lot. I mean, the paint's not bad. I will tell you that I squeezed it pretty hard, and I was kind of concerned that I would pop it out the bottom, and that's just history of some of my older videos. If you haven't seen them, that's happened. But it turns out that that's okay. The paint's still fine, right? And honestly, if I want to put it back in my box and I need it to look pretty, I can just sort of press my thumb on the back here, and that'll kind of reshape it a little. But you know what? Like, I'm going to dent them all. I'm going to dent them with this. Not pretty. Not pretty. Not pretty. Are you doing this at home? I don't want, otherwise I'll just be doing it by myself, and I do that enough. I need somebody to join in. Let's all jump in together, okay? We're going to just destroy pretty looking art supply. Oh, I'm going to go over the top now. Now I'm going to really do it, because you know what? I can replace these tubes. Here it comes. Wait for it. Will, get in close. We're going right here. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. There are so many people rolling their eyes, turning off their computer right now, going like, give me a break. But there are plenty of you that know what I'm talking about. Like, oh, no, now it's not pretty. Now it's, like, can I scrape it off? Like, I want to, gotta scrape it. It's never going to look the same again. You know what? That's okay. That's okay. We have to take the time to break in our art supplies so we use them. Now, with that being said, there are functional ways. I'm up here being shticky. Kind of sounds like it being sticky. I'm up here, making light of this, but there are functional ways to break in your art supplies, right? So what are some examples of that? Well, all right, I mean, you can put your paint out and then use it, of course. But let's talk about something like these pretty little sketchbooks here, right? So one of the things that I like to do to break it into, because we got to break the preciousness of it. This is not a collector's item. I mean, you can turn anything into a collector's item, I guess, but the point is to use it. I like to flip it to the back, okay? And what I like to do is create color charts, color swatches. So if I intend to use my Cezanne colored pencils in this Opus leather journal, I want to know what the color is going to look like on the page. That's a functional thing. So I'm going to go ahead, oh, they're all lined up so nicely. I'm going to grab my pencil, and I am going to swatch it out. And guess what? I have not only started to use my sketchbook, it is no longer brand new, pristine, new in box, mint in box, whatever it is that they say on eBay. It's been used, okay? But it's been used functionally. I can, as I'm creating my artwork, I can flip back to this page and reference it. Pencil 104. And not only have I done that, but I've started using my colored pencils. Okay, this is a great thing for watercolors. It's anything. I think swatching it on a surface that you're going to use is helpful, okay, when it comes to a lot of different medias. Not all are necessary, but colored pencils and watercolor for sure swatch before you start doing that artwork, because every piece of watercolor paper might be a little different, and your colors might look different because they're so translucent. And when it comes to pencils, same deal. Every paper not only might have a different creaminess to the color of it, but also might have a different tooth. These are things that you want to know ahead of time before you start creating your art. So where you are functionally breaking in our art supplies, we're ruining the preciousness of them, making them more usable, more available. And you know what? Now that this has happened, I think I can get myself into it, right? Now, if you're going to invest in a beautiful leather journal, you might have another level of new sketchbook syndrome, which is a video we did a long time ago. And, you might really be like, well, I'm not looking to create a masterpiece. I just want to kind of doodle. But what if my doodle turns out good? Oh, God forbid, you have a good drawing. Well, this is what I do, okay? I have my leather journal, right? And I will take my time to do certain pieces of art in those journals. But sometimes I just want to kind of fool around and experiment and play. So I keep what I have affectionately called a throwaway journal. Now, it's probably not going to be leather bound. It'll probably be something basic. It can even be one of these Soho Sketch, which are really cool because they lie flat. I like that. You open the book and then the binding kind of has that crease. So now these books are really great because I'm not going to crease the binding. So there's that, if that helps you. But what do I mean by throwaway journal? I mean, what I tell myself is, and I might actually write it on the cover. Give me something to write with. Here. I'm going to write throw me away. Nothing in this book matters. Nothing in this book matters. I'm going to throw it away. Let me put this back. Whatever I do in this, it doesn't matter. I'm just going to throw this away. So, you know what? I'm just going to throw it away, right? So, who cares? I'm just throwing it away. I kind of like that. Maybe I can play off that, and I don't know. I actually can kind of see this going somewhere. It's not, it's almost like a little. Maybe I can create a little Moreau effect. Add some reds and some blacks. I kind of like that. Well, you know what? Maybe I don't have to throw it away. It turns out you have the power. You can decide. If you create something in there that you think is wonderful, don't throw it away. But you're going to tell yourself you're going to throw it away because nothing in this book matters. You are releasing yourself of any kind of fear of ruining something precious. So there's this balance, right? I think that it's good that everybody kind of has two sketchbooks. They're one that they want to create for their oohs and ahs and show me's and, hey, look what I did. And then this is the deep, dirty, dark secret, okay? And this is where you really, really get to test yourself and push your limits because you're not afraid of ruining something precious. Does that make sense? Again, this is a lot of stuff that's designed to help new artists, hobby artists that might have been collecting art supplies for a long time. All right, since we're up here ruining art supplies, all right, because some of you guys probably are like, oh, I'm not going to actually do that. I caught you. All right, no, I'm telling you, go get something and we're going to ruin it, okay? I'm going to go into these pastels right now. And again, I ain't just ruining it. It's not like I'm setting them on fire, right? I'm ruining them so I can use them, okay? I'm not wasting them. So I'm going to take this beautiful red pastel, and for those of you that know me and follow my videos, I do not like pastels because they get my hands all dirty, but I'm doing this for you because I love you. And I'm just going to snap it. Oh no, it's ruined. But it turns out, a lot of times when you work with pastel, this is going to bother me for a while, I just need everybody to know. But it turns out that when you're working with pastel, they're going to break. And you know what? Sometimes you want them to break because it's easier to fill in specifically sized spaces, and it's easier to control them if you have a size stick that is going to work with your art. So go ahead and break them up. It's okay. Trust me. Okay? I'm giving you permission to destroy your art supplies to make them usable. Okay? We don't, I say destroy to be dramatic. I'm saying break them in. It's like a new pair of shoes, baby. If you want them to be comfortable, you got to wear them around, okay? You got to get that foot sole comfy. I'm working on some right now. My feet are going to be wonderful in about 6 weeks. Good. Did you ruin art supplies today with me? If you did, put it in the comments below. Tell me what you ruined and why. Was it because of me? Did I give you strength? Did you not ruin art supplies because they're already ruined? You can tell me that below too. But more importantly, tell me if this is something that you've struggled with. And I think that there are other people that have struggled with this too, and it might help to hear your story. So add those to the comments down below. Whether you have art supplies you're afraid to use because you're going to ruin them, whether you just went ahead and ruined something, tell me what you ruined. Put it down in the comments below. And you have my permission to ruin your pencils, ruin your paints, and most importantly, ruin me on Instagram at Mike Not Jerry, where I will continue to post things that probably self-sabotage myself. Right? Did you cry during this? Some of you might be crying as, I can just imagine somebody, it's almost kind of sad, like, I don't want to break my pastels. That's kind of what my daughter would do. I'm reenacting a 3-year-old, and that's kind of how I feel when I have to break something. But in reality, you're doing yourself a favor, okay? Take the risk, take the leap of faith. I believe in you. You have my permission to break in your art supplies, because art supply collecting is not a hobby I believe in. I believe in art supplies being used to create art, despite all these beautiful sets behind me. Because at the end of the day, we still are an art supplier, and I guess we have to have the McDonald's hamburgers that look nice. So we will see you on our next artist problem, and I will see you on Instagram. So, I will see you on our next So, I'll see you on our next video, or I'll see you on Instagram.